It's sick. We're checking into sick. Sick.
Yo, check it out. It's a Psyck Discussion.
Sick.
You tuned in to Psyck Discussions.
Sick.
You are now listening to a Psyck Discussion.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Psyck Discussion. Sick. As always, it's your boy Reggie So Dope.
What up, it's Devin.
What's good, y'all? This is Mar.
Y'all, we have another interesting conversation for the people today. So let's sat back and I thought about some things. I realized, not a lot of people work in the career field that they pursue.
Right.
Like very few people actually work in the degree that they go for. Like I know like doctors or whatever have the better chances, but you know what I mean? So I really want to have a conversation today about career paths and like side hustles. And so my first question for y'all today is, what was y'all dream jobs like growing up?
For me, it's kind of, I don't think I've really ever had a dream job. Like, as a kid, there's like, oh, I want to be a firefighter type thing. But actually, I'm lying. A dream job that I wanted, but I've never actually even pursued it, was to be on like Disney Channel, be an actor, like a three-dimensional artist that does everything. That is what Kid Devin wanted to do.
Okay. So he wants to be a singer, a dancer, an actor. Okay.
An entertainer.
Same. I don't want to be on TV, but I want to like play sports. I just love playing sports. I feel like the typical kid. Like, I want to play basketball. I want to be a superstar, but like, I don't know. Then, like, as I got older, realizing like maybe that's not what I want to do, but I still want to do something in that route. But I didn't know like other outlets. And then as I got older, I was like, maybe that's not what I want to do. But I definitely want to be like something that's sports related.
So like, I wanted to be a Power Ranger.
Screaming. Which color?
Like, I really wanted to be the Black Ranger. I wanted to be the Black Ranger. And so Tommy made the Green Ranger a thing. And then he made the White Ranger a thing. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to be a Power Ranger. And then once I realized I was not learning any form of martial arts, I then told myself I wanted to be a lawyer. Because I wanted to just like argue. I was a good liar, damn good arguer. So I went that until I got to high school, and I'm like, all right, that's not happening. And then it went like psychologist, and then actor. Like it kept changing. And that was it. It just kept changing, and now I'm like, wow, am I doing any of that? Kind of, right, with mentorship and stuff, but I'm nobody's lawyer. It's not happening. It's not happening whatsoever. So I'm not on that path at all. Any of y'all on the path to those dream jobs?
No, not really. The closest to me is this podcast. Being on camera, acting. I'll be telling stories. So here, y'all, I'll be lying. Making a character. Y'all don't even know the real Devin.
You don't know Dev.
This is an alter ego.
Okay. This is Psycho. All right, so this is as close as you are to your dream job.
This is the closest
It's a hard no for me, bro. I gave
to
it
childhood
years
Devin.
ago. I didn't hit my growth spurt, so I gave it up.
Yeah, you know what though? Now that I think about it, I guess I'm kind of close, with the exception of lawyer, because like even though I'm not like a psychologist, but as a mentor and a life coach and a counselor, I'm in that realm. And then we are doing shows and things like that, so I'm still not too far away from acting, like directing and stuff. So I guess I'm still in the ballpark. I'm still in the ballpark, but none of us are there. And so out of all the jobs you've had so far, like which one has been your favorite?
I mean, that's kind of an easy one for me. Because right now I'm at a concert production company, and that's pretty much once my dream job of being on Disney Channel was shot in the foot, I eventually found out that I like graphic design, photography, and I kind of get to do that in my everyday life as a job. So that kind of makes work not feel like work for me. I think I answered the question. I kind of got off track. If you want to remind me of the question real fast.
So more about my life.
my life.
Just said, what's been your favorite job so far?
Yes, my favorite job has been the one I have right now, definitely. And honestly, I was in a situation growing up to where I wasn't forced to have like a bunch of jobs. Like the job right now was probably my third, fourth actual job. So I don't have a big like selection of which jobs my favorite. They're all kind of coincide to graphic design.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for me, I'm actually kind of surprised. I know like what I want to do. I'm not even like second guessing. I know I want to go into healthcare, but out of all the jobs I had so far, my most favorite was I was in college. I worked for Upward Bound. It's a program. It's like what Trio works with high school students, and I kind of helping them get a feel for college. We took them for like a summer for like 6 weeks, and we were with them all the time. So we like took them to classes. We were like just doing activities with them, got to know them a little bit better, play games and stuff. Took them on trips, college visits, and that was like one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. Like I had no idea I liked working with high school students at that time. So even to this day, I did that job like at least like 6-7 years ago, and I still keep in contact with some of the students to this day, and like just to see them.
That's
like,
dope.
And, like, they done with college now. They tell me they like playing. Like it was hands down like my favorite job. So knowing I want to do like something in healthcare and like I like doing that, I'm just trying to figure out how to like work it in together now.
Okay,
More for the kiddo.
I love the kids. My favorite job so far. That's so tough because I mean, in college I was like an RA and things like that, so I don't really count those to be honest. But I've had about 5 jobs post college. My favorite was probably my role as a dream director. So I was at a high school and my job was to really create an after school culture. And so I was supposed to create this team of students, about 10 students who we called the dream team. And my job was to help them identify their passions and then to get them to start to work on passion projects. And I loved it so much because I made my own hours. The pay was great for what I was doing. Like I got to select my students. I had a workable budget. So like it was like this exclusive group that was making them so happy and so proud. That would have had to be my favorite one, but then that ended in chaos because there was a mismanagement of funds from admin. So it went from being the best job ever to like, wow, my check is late. Shit. Oh, I might be fired by spring break. Okay, wait. So my boss is laid off, but now I get to keep going until the last day of school, but then that's absolutely my last day. Got it. Right. You know, and it's crazy because I like that job a little bit more than my role as a motivational speaker and a leadership facilitator for another company that I worked with. And that's because I dealt with so many microaggressions at that job. It like soiled the thing that I loved. Right. Yeah, so it was tough, but I think being a dream director was probably my favorite thus far. So, teacher, listen, different story. That becomes a whole nother topic because the politics in school are so atrocious. Like these babies are not learning. They can't possibly learn when the teacher is like fed up. You know, so it's a whole nother episode. Book me. So given we've all had just a handful of jobs, when should you then start to pick up like a side hustle, right? Because we've had a few experiences here and there. Some of us have found those funner jobs a little easier than others. Death. And so like, when is there a right time to start to pick up a side hustle?
I would say the right time to pick up a side hustle is when you feel you're comfortable enough to dedicate time to something that you actually want to even do. Like, don't just pick up a side hustle because you see people on Twitter talking about, oh, you need 6 streams of income. You got to do this. You got to sell this. You got to do that. You got to, like, if you're comfortable with your 9 to 5 and your checks is enough for that, and you don't want to have to worry about everything else on the side that comes with being an entrepreneur, because it's not as sweet as people think. There's a lot of things that go on in the back end, and like
it's ghetto.
Very ghetto. And if you don't have the bandwidth to deal with that, you just go, okay, it's just gonna start and stop. It's gonna be a waste of time, honestly.
The word of the day is bandwidth. Let's go vocabulary. But nah, that's real though. That's real, because it really is ghetto being an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Especially when you're trying to do it the legal way. And so you have to become an accountant. You have to become a social media manager. You then have to become the content creator, because you still have to be a visionary, you know. And then if you are doing something that involves people, like a service, you got to be the booking agent. You have to be the secretary. It's like you have to do all those things as an entrepreneur. Until you can make enough money and then have a clear enough brand to where other people are willing to work with you.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Because it sounds sweet to work for yourself, but then when you realize that you're doing 15 roles at one time, it's like, actually, I'd rather have a boss and a nice little salary. So all my time off is my time off. So and that's just for some people.
Yeah, sure. I agree. It's weird, like with the entrepreneur stuff, because you definitely, the world makes you seem like the moment you become an entrepreneur, like you get in your bag. Yeah. It's like, no, like people aren't going to buy that, because they even got to research the proper prices to things, because just because inflation is up don't mean your price go up, because what the hell is your brand? You know what I mean? Like, you don't. True. Yeah. I understand Lucky Charms might go up to about $4 a box, but them Lucky Rounds that they sell at Aldi, I'm not buying that for $4 too. Like, nigga, you Lucky Rounds.
Like, you lucky, I'm thinking about buying it.
But that's all right. I get you. Real question though, do y'all feel like your passions have to be connected to your side hustles?
It would make it easier to pursue them. Like, necessarily, you don't have to be, but it'll be easier to pursue them and like to stick it out when the going is just tough. Because y'all definitely made some good points. Like, you're not gonna be in your bag from the jump, and like you're gonna be doing a million things at once. And if you have like no strong connection to it, it's gonna be easier for you just to drop it. Like, yo, screw this shit getting hard. Like, it ain't even worth it. And like you said, I'm just gonna go back to my 9 to 5 because it's more comfortable. Yeah. So if you got like some connection or like passion in that side hustle, or say like you would do it for free, then it'd be a lot easier for you to continue it in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. So even when it comes to something like cryptocurrency, I've kind of known about that for a while. Like when Bitcoin first really kind of got popular, like 2016, 2015, like around that time, like I knew about it, but I'm like, I don't know nothing about like, do I buy? How much do I buy? Do I know what's the conversion? Is this gonna drop? Like all this other things, and it's just like I didn't have the bandwidth to learn all that, so I was just like, I'm not gonna invest in something that I know nothing about. And I mean, I could have then, and it probably would have been a good thing now. But you know, I missed the boat, so other things will come.
If we knew then, what do we know now?
Because I got a couple Bitcoin and Litcoin that just sitting in this Coinbase app that I use, and it's just sitting there. I'm like, if something happens with what I have in there, it happens. But I'm not finna be. I don't have time to be like checking the charts, transferring things. It's just like, no. If Bitcoin blow up to $1 million for $1 billion, I got two. That's it. That's all. And I'll cash it in, I guess.
No, I love that y'all said that, because so often am I having conversations with people and they're like, oh, I'm about to get into real estate and I'm about to rent cars and I'm gonna get into Airbnb. And I'm just like, okay, well, are you an interior designer?
Do you like cars?
Do you like cars? Nah, I just like money. good luck. Like, good luck. And I get it. We all want money. Like, we want to be rich or famous, but it does get hard when you're trying to make money for a living. And you're right when you say, like, if your heart's not in it, if it's not something you really want to do, when the going gets tough, it's going to be much easier to quit. So much easier. So I personally do think like your passions should be connected to your side hustles. At least like your first maybe 2 side hustles.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know, like when you're like trying to figure out that balance between your career or your job and your side hustles, those side hustles need to be something you love. Something you could do for free, something that you would love. If you had to get up at 4 a.m. to be able to do that thing, you'd actually get up.
Thanks.
And
If
who
not-
knows, you might hit a point to where like you're able to be like, even me, like if I make enough money on my side hustle, I'm like, I can hire someone to be like, oh, run this crypto thing for me on the side, and like you get 10% of like everything that happens over there, type of thing.
So, question, it's completely off the grid. What are y'all side hustles? Well, I know we keep
Trying to
talking
get in my
about
business, y'all.
But I know we talking about side hustles and passions, and the listener might be like, "Well, what the fuck? What do you do?"
Right.
So, what are y'all side hustles?
I got they're all kind of tied together into graphic design and photography. So I do like when I feel like it, child. I design like logos, websites, flyers, posters for like different clients that need it. I got some consistent people that kind of like always come to me for things, so that makes it easier than me just feeling like, oh, I need someone, I need to like, who need a flyer, and start posting it that way. Like I'm lucky enough to have people kind of come to me when they need something, and that's kind of like who I just work with until I'm like, oh, I kind of work on a recommendation aspect because I don't have time to be having everybody asking me for a damn logo. Like, I got to do this podcast. I got to do work. I got to go shoot a concert. Like, I might not even have time for like a random logo request on a Tuesday. That's one of my side hustles.
Okay.
And also photography. It's kind of the same thing with my graphic design photography. It's kind of like recommendations. Like, oh, go to Devin. He'll do your pictures. Like, I could get to a point to where I'm promoting it more, but right now I know I don't have bandwidth to handle 5 logos and 20 photo shoots in a week. So it's like, I'm not going to like put myself out there that much. My newest side hustle is Nucleus Banded streetwear. You know, I got a little tee on right now. So if y'all want to shop, go to nucleusbanded.com. You know, sunglasses, graphic tees.
We should just drop the link in the description. Like, we're gonna drop a link in the description.
Add here. But yeah, that's kind of what I got going on right now.
So what are your side hustles?
I don't have any right now. Actually, I'm a full-time employee and I'm damn near a full-time student. So I'm like, yo, I barely got time to do things I want to do for fun. So like, I have time to like pick up a side.
He lying, y'all. The podcast is side hustle.
It's like
we working on
hustle,
it.
you know, we working on it.
It takes time out of your busy schedule.
That's true.
It's
So,
a side
shout out to the
hustle.
podcast. That would be the side hustle. But I do got some other things I'm interested in. Just trying to balance the time to just pursue those.
Because Marv went back to school. So
Sure did.
I was like, oh, you sure you're going to jail? You're going back to jail.
Parts of school. Bro was in nursing school. Like, send him prayers.
Yeah, I was like, you sure you going back to school?
You really want to do this?
Nah, facts.
So, yeah,
Facts.
out, bro.
Are you ever gonna start to like coach people on like skating?
Maybe I'll definitely talk to my group about that. It's just like, let me figure out the time frame with being realistic and say, how can I do this and working into my schedule. It's just something I definitely want to do, and then just gotta take the time and figure out when I can do it.
Okay. All right. And then my side hustles, of course, it's the pod and like all things the pod. Speaking has become a side hustle for me. You know, like it was like my main job. And now I'm like, oh, I'll take this gig. Or I know you. I like you. It's, decent enough pay or it makes sense to the schedule. So speaking's this one of the side hustles. Mentoring and like training mentors. I get a solid little bag from that. I consult people from OnlyFans and manage OnlyFans stars.
Wait, what did this happen? Wait, hold on.
I told you I've had OnlyFans clients.
Screaming in the mic.
No, like legit. So, because the thing is, which this season we're gonna have a sex episode, people. But nah, man, like sex exists. It happens. You know what I mean? Some people are better at it than others, and some people need help. But sex is always gonna sell, and so I'm just like, all right, let me just get that
Sex
back.
Education by Reginald Bates, LLC.
And like,
Hey.
Sex Ed LLC. It's not me. If y'all go search it up, it's not me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm at a point now where if it feels right and it seems like it's gonna bring me joy, I'll try it as a side hustle. I'll see what's to it. Because luckily, and I will say that it comes from a very cushiony position of like my career pays me well. So I do get to take those type of risks.
Yeah.
Because like that's the caveat with like side hustles. If your main bag ain't right,
Ain't bagging.
you don't get the luxury of picking up a side hustle.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
all right. So I asked those questions because like I want to know if money was not an issue, would you further pursue your current like job / career, or would you further pursue your side hustles? So if you had the bag you wanted, you was good, you got your little mansion, a condo, whatever your financial freedom looks like. If finances was not an issue whatsoever, would you further pursue this current career, or would you further pursue your side hustles?
If money wasn't, I mean, I do. I love my job and all, but if money wasn't an issue, I wouldn't be working there, and I'll have more time to do streetwear, do more creative photography, do logos when I wanted to, damn near, or not at all if I have enough money. But if money wasn't an issue, it will probably all go into nucleus banding and building that brand out. And also the podcast. We still got a ways to go, even though we've been doing this for a little hot second. But the glow up's coming, y'all.
Okay.
We look into the camera. I never look into the camera. I hate when people look into the camera. I'm looking into both cameras. It's happening.
Man, we cook it up so much. They just don't know.
Okay.
And I ain't saying nothing yet because I don't know if it's gonna be out by this episode.
Right, that's why we've learned from our mistakes in past episodes. We're like, this is gonna be out by the time this episode is out. No,
You don't even know what month it is right now, and I ain't saying it.
see it when it drops. So, all right. So, if money that's not an issue whatsoever, would you still be pursuing nursing? Or would you go into like skating things or like other things? So
Skating in Paris. Just more under the Eiffel Tower.
I would still pursue it. I would still pursue it. I think it will fulfill me a little bit more. I don't think I'm doing it just for the money. It's something I knew I wanted to do years ago. I didn't do it, so it kept coming back on my mind, and now I'm pursuing it. So I feel like this is something I really want to do. But I would definitely make more time to pursue some of the other things. You said put more time and energy into the pod. You said if I want to do something with the skating or just explore other interests and passions, I would have more time to do that though.
Gotcha.
So, but the job I'm doing right now, I definitely would not keep doing that. No, not at all.
Because it definitely takes money to make more money.
Right.
Definitely.
So if it was not an issue, I got podcast stuff, nucleus man, custom frames.
No, legit. If money was not an issue, I would not be teaching right now.
Right.
Especially not in Chicago. So the thing is, like, I love teaching. For me, teaching is only like extended workshops, right? Because I also get the luxury of teaching the arts, like performative arts. So instead of me coming into your school and teaching people poetry for one day, I get to teach poetry for 3 weeks. And then I get to teach acting or monologues for 3 weeks. So for me, it's just extended workshops. But I wouldn't have to grade. Nor do I have to talk to parents. Nor do I have to like deal with coworkers who are also miserable, yet this is their only stop. You know what I mean? So like, no offense, well, take it. So like, yeah, so the structure of education right now is a complete joke. You know, so if money wasn't the issue, I would not be teaching whatsoever. I would absolutely be speaking more, just doing more workshops, everything pod. Like, it's so much more I know I would be doing. And the more I even say that out loud, the more I know, like, I have an expiration date with this here teaching thing. It's at least at the school I'm at, but also maybe even in Chicago, because the system is the same all throughout the city. You know, it's just different faces, different names. So it's weird.
Yeah.
And I have a timer for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because even me working in corporate, thankfully it's a job I love and like, but if it wasn't, I'll probably be more willing to quit and give it up and try to go flip and do something else. Because I've been in my current job, it's gonna be 5
Yeah, you've been there.
years
You've been there.
October, and I mean, it's keep fulfilling me and helping me grow and get a little bit more connections. So I've been able to stay there. But if it was year 2 and I hated it, I probably would have already pivoted to do something else. But at the end of the day, I think in the future me definitely is not going to work in corporate. I want to have control over everything. That's just kind of how I want to live and do things. I want to be able to, this week blacked out, I'm going somewhere and we're going to do this. And we have a regular corporate job. You're not able to do that. I know my lifestyle and what I want to do and how I want to live, which might not be for everybody, but I know what I want to do. So the time is ticking, like Reggie said.
No, legit. And I love that you said that, because it's just like, these jobs are ghetto, first of all.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep saying that, but like, I think it's easier to stay at a job when you are getting promotions. You're getting a few more challenges. You're moving up. Like, when pay is changing, titles is changing, and like responsibilities change, it's a little easier to stay at a job than like, oh, you want me to do the same exact thing for years?
Yeah,
Nothing changes.
No, okay.
Here's my 2 weeks. I am done. I am done for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so check it out. Because it seems as though your dream career is like, now it is like to be an entrepreneur. So is that it though? So now I'm just wondering, like, because clearly our careers have changed. You know what I mean? So it's like, now what is your current like dream career? Which is also sounds like entrepreneurial stuff for all of us, and it seems like maybe it's still like nursing for you or whatever. But like, what is that title, or what is that dream? What is that expectation for your dream careers? Now that we're older and much wiser.
Honestly, I don't think I can even put a title on it, because I'm so in this big creative kind of bucket, to where I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. A little splash of that. A little seasoning, a little parsley over here. Okay. So I don't even know if I could put like what a title of what I want my dream, or like going for what it would even be called. So that's kind of a tough question for me. I don't know if it's like cultural creative lead. Okay. I don't know.
Definitely looking like founder and CEO. Okay.
Yeah.
And all right, so I'll throw on a little bit more sauce for you then, Dev. Because like, now you're doing graphic tees, you're doing custom shades and logos. Let's go strictly Nucleus Bandit now. Like, how are you expecting to grow that company?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. But I definitely want to be known as a good streetwear brand that people could look and recognize, and also maintain affordability, and not being like this graphic tee that costs $70 when it's not. It don't take that much to make a graphic. Now it's like Egyptian thread cotton. Like, that's not the route I'm trying to keep it for the people that like streetwear and stuff like that. So I kind of just want to build the brand and get it, because there's always audience for streetwear, but also it's kind of getting your foot out there and putting your 10 toes down and having like a reputable brand.
Okay. All right. Same question to you, Marv. Like, what is your dream career now that you're older, you're wiser, and school is schooling?
Man.
Like, what is your dream career?
Like you said, I'm still pursuing it, like with the nursing, but like you said, as far as titles, I know I just like the challenge and like being in school. I know one day I definitely want to go down the path of like getting a doctorate in nursing too. So just like, I feel like I'm so early in the journey. Like some things I still kind of foggy, like exactly where I want to end up. And I think as I just get experience and I continue to grow with it, I'll get a little bit more sense of direction. But I know that's definitely an end goal of mine, is definitely to pursue the doctorate and just continue to find other things that fulfill me. Like, I know that's one thing, but I want to find something I can be like a little bit more creative as well. So I'm just trying to take time. Like I said, I'm balancing school and trying to figure that out now so I can start learning and honing those skills of things I'm more passionate. I don't know if it's like getting behind the camera, editing. I don't know if it's like drawing, painting, like really anything. So I feel like that would be more structured and that would be solid. Like I know that's something I want to do and I can always just be fulfilled in that way and working in healthcare. But I want something to like let me be myself, like more creative and maybe like the skating, camera, whatever. So I'm trying to figure that out now. So I want something that's structured. And then like the creative side of me. So
Dr. Suave. Okay, all right, I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it. Now, my dream career now is really the same as it was before. Like I am preparing myself to be back full time, speaking, facilitating. Author will then also be on that because I'm tired of playing with these books. I'm tired.
Write these things down so I can follow up with Reggie next month.
Literally Wednesdays, starting this upcoming Wednesday, me and my friend Eric, we're going to be hitting the gym and then we're coming home and I'm going to be working on like my book while he works on something else. So I needed an accountability buddy. And I'm like, okay, these check-ins are cool, but so much comes at me at once. I'm like, I gotta take this back to like elementary. Like, no, we're going to sit here and I need someone to help me make sure I get this thing done. And not because it's not a priority for me, but like I wear so many hats and sometimes I'm too drained to just sit at my desk at home and then crunch that out. So accountability buddies. But yeah, that's what it is. I am ready now after all these years to be back in like that speaker bag. So that, and again, everything pod. Like the people have only been introduced to a few umbrellas, like the podcast and the card game and the merch. It is so much more falling down this umbrella right now. So I'm just super geeked. I'm super excited. So second to last question, then we will start to wrap this thing up. Who inspired y'all to like pursue the things we're currently pursuing? Right? Like because so many just ideas and careers and things just happen in this space. Like who's inspiring you to do these things?
I got two answers. At high school, I randomly took a computer class where you go and you like sign up. For the school I went to, we kind of just had to go to this like event and they're like, oh, you got to pick a language, pick another class, pick drama, pick something. And I was like, I like computers. I don't really know much about computers, but it was like a kind of a graphic design, learn Photoshop, learn Excel, like that kind of computer class. And there was this great teacher, Mr. Hernandez, who started to like teach us. And that's kind of how I got into Photoshop and computers and all those things. Because when I was younger, I liked to draw and whatever, but I never was like, I didn't know what Photoshop was before I took that class. So that's kind of the first stepping stone of Devin's introduction to being a digital creator. In terms of the entrepreneurial hat that I like to wear, that's all to my mom. She's been working for herself since probably like 2008, from properties to consulting to everything under the sun. Like she knows how to do, and she's Queen Finesse. She can do everything, and that's kind of been my role model of being like, I'm not working a 9 to 5 when I'm older, because I've like seeing her availability to just be able to go up, go wherever, like coming to my. She really kind of did it also to be able to come to my like basketball games, tournaments, all these other things. Like she was able to be there, like picking me up from practice when I have a car, like coming to tournaments. Like she was always like there,
That's
invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And if she was still working a 9 to, she wouldn't necessarily have all that time to even commit to her only child. So I got extra mom love.
Okay, that's real. That's real. Suave.
Yeah, so when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, I met a friend, and his mom was doing what I'm trying to do now. She was in school for she was like just wrapping up, and like the more I started hanging out and kicking it with them, I just saw like some of like the freedom she had and like how much like coin she was making. I'm like, yo, they living nice around here. It's like that kind of like sparked my interest. I didn't know like exactly like all the ins and outs, like what her job entailed, but I was like, yo, like they living good up here. Like he get like everything he want. They taking trips. Like it was just dope to me. Like because I grew up a little bit different. Like, you know, kind of like Dad said, like his mom had like a lot of free time. Like mom didn't. Like she had to like work and take care of the kids. So it's like just to see like his mom had that time to be there for him. Like they could do things together, take trips, like build memories. Like, that's kind of dope. Like just to see what she does. And then fast forward a little bit, like 8th grade graduation, everybody took a trip. Like they took one of them little boat trips, like the Odyssey or something. I can't remember which one it was. But for some reason, I was like, yo, I don't want to go to that. I'm going to stay home. And she was like, yo, you can either stay home and just kick it, or you can come right to meet with me for the day for work and like just hang out. So I was like, okay, I'll go with you. And like being in the space and like to see what she was doing, like I was like, yo, this is like dope. Like I like what she was doing. It's kind of cool. And like that kind of was like first initially like sparked my interest in the health field. And then like later on in high school, I had got hurt running track. So I had to do like physical therapy and like work with like in the healthcare setting, like just to see like being in that space again. I was like, yo, like this is something I really want to do. You know, it just kept like coming back. And like when I went to college, I was like, I don't know what I want to do specifically. And I just always kind of came back to this, but that's where it started. Like with my friend's mom, like that was kind of dope to see.
That's super
these
dope.
things.
That's dope. Yeah, I have a few people who inspired me to do what I do. So one, I'm just a product of great teachers, to be completely honest. Like I can remember teachers as early as 3rd grade who Miss Tony, who's just like, all right, you're gonna be like spelling bee champ. Like we didn't even have a spelling bee in my school at the time, but she wanted to make sure that I knew words and could spell them, right? And then I go to 4th grade and I had Miss McNeil, who like would challenge me to beat everybody else in the math stuff. So y'all know how you would get like 60 seconds to do as many multiplication or division. She used to be on me about beating everybody else, you know? And so then when I got to 8th grade, I had a math teacher who was also like my homeroom teacher, Mr. Nolan. And it was something about the way that he taught us. And at the time too, he was still filming commercials and films. And then I didn't even know he was an alpha until I got to high school. And I was like, what? So he was my basketball coach. Like he was like one of my top inspirations to like teaching and pursuing the performative arts. And so once I got to high school, then I had my theater coach, Mrs. Nesbitt, who just like ripped the Band-Aid off and was like, go be an artist, you know? And so then we get to college and then we had Don. Like Don Bramlett, literally to show me how do we mentor and dedicate ourselves to building other people up, and being so focused on helping young Black men graduate just to open up their possibility, you know? And I know I had so many other motivational speakers who has like personally taught me and trained me, but I wouldn't even have pursued motivational speaking if it wasn't for Don. Like Don showed me that it was a thing. He took me to conferences to meet these people. Like there were relationships that like were kind of falling to the wayside with me and some speakers. And Don was going in like making sure I was being properly invested in. And so like Don Bramlett is easily one of my biggest inspirations. And then the cherry on top would absolutely be my mom. Because even though she doesn't understand everything that I do, like the way that she tries to her best to support, and she has no idea, just like watching her work 3 jobs when I was younger, because my stepdad was laid off and it was 6 of us in the house. And so there was a time where my mom was the head secretary at my school. So from 8 to 3, she's literally at my school. And then from like 3:30 to maybe 8, she is working at On the Border, which was like this Mexican restaurant. And then from like 8:45 to 1 in the morning, she was working at a special Kmart, like just a special K, just to make sure like we were good. So to see that level of hustle and ambition, plus all the sprinkles of all my other inspirations, I'm like, I'm fucked. Like I have to hustle now. Like, and I have to have my hands in multiple things, because everyone who's inspired me has had their hands in multiple things. So, all right, y'all, let's start to bring this thing home. Last question. We always got to give advice for a novice, right? So what advice do you have for someone who's stuck between their career and like a lucrative side hustle? Like, what advice do you have for those people who are trying to weigh the two?
If you're stuck between a lucrative side hustle and you say
their career,
is it a career they like? Or is it a career they don't like? I would say don't give up on your career just yet until the lucrative side hustle is lucrative long enough. I would say at least maybe a year and maybe even some change. Because your side hustle could be lucrative for 2 months and you can't just go, quitting my job. And then next thing you know, you get somebody search your tweets and you get canceled and nobody's shocked with you no more.
Yeah,
because it'd be that easy to lose an audience these days. So just make sure that your lucrative side hustle is actually lucrative.
Let's go.
In all caps.
All caps.
Is it lucrative or is it lucrative?
All caps, no cap. All right.
Okay, to answer that. 'Cause I love it. Kind of one thing I guess I was touching on our episode, like, man, just figure out like what you're really passionate about. Like, go with what your heart tells you to do. Like, of course, the money is important. Like, make sure you, before you even take the lucrative route of your side hustle, like you said, make sure you got enough coins saved up in the bank where you solid for a little bit. In general, whether it falls through or not, you have some coin where you can sit on just to figure things out, and then you get back on your feet. But definitely go with what you feel like, just brings you more joy. Like if you working a good 9 to 5 and you getting a good bag, but like you hate it, it's kind of pointless in the end. Like you can only do that for so long. So always have a escape plan from the 9 to 5 for the lucrative joint. Like just save up your coin, figure out you can add more money to it, bring more value, and then just drop it, and then just go with your full-time passion, like what you love the most.
Love that. And knocking on the same ballpark, just make sure you have at least 7 months of just like expense and emergency pay saved up.
Right.
So expense and emergencies,
2 different things.
Because if you got at least 7 months of both, then you can more easily go take that leap, because you'll have more time now to focus on your side hustles, and you still have that cushion of, okay, at least my rent is paid for 7 months. Right. At least if my car break down or something crazy happen, I'm covered for at least 7 months. Because by month 4, if prices, you ain't making as much as you thought you would in that side hustle, within about 3 months, you should find you another job. But if you ain't got that 7 months of both expense and emergency, just keep balancing it out. Right. Stick to that career and stick to the side hustle. So, all right. So I think we good. All right, today's conversation was great. Definitely went off the record, but y'all got in our business a little bit, so we appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. As always, the world is sick,
but good conversation is the cure,
and we are out.
Sick of it. Yo, thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's sick content.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below. Share with everyone you know.
And follow us at everything at Psyck Discussion. Peace.
Sick.